Marcus Stroman on a chilly night will make start number 8. He'll face Lars Nootbaar, and we are ready to go. Cold, damp day here in Chicago. Nootbaar shortens to bunt, takes outside, ball 1. We are underway. Marcus Stroman with that ground ball rate of over 60% using that sinker. That one bunted at and missed. And the count 1-1.
Let's take a look at Marcus's pitch arsenal. It's brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Sinking fastball at 91, slider, cutter, and changeup. He mixed in a few more changeups his llast start against the Nationals. 2-2, 2.18 DERA.
Well, you're talking about the changeup. There it was, JD. So he's already he's going to need it against these left-handed hitters because they're going to throw a bunch of left-handed hitters at him tonight.
The 2-1. That misses off the inside edge, says CB Buckner. Stroman, who turned 32 last Monday. And now it's filled up on Lars Nootbaar. Payoff pitch in the air out to Bellinger in left center field. He cuts across and makes the catch. 1 up and 1 down for Oliver Marmol and the Cardinals. Their lineup brought to you by UI Health. Nootbaar flies out to center. It'll be then Goldschmidt, Gorman, Contreras. Arenado is scratch precautionary measures with neck stiffness. Donovan, DeYoung, Carlson, Edmund shifts over to second, and Kisner gets the start behind the plate. This was a good offense last year. They were 3rd in the National League in runs per game, right now 7th, and this guy is the engine. Awkward swing right there. It's 0-2.
See Tucker Barnhart catching tonight, setting up way off that outside corner. 2 or 3 starts ago, he did that too. Stroman wanted to really emphasize trying to command that part of the plate.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And there's 2 down. Let's send it down to Taylor McGregor.
Well, before we get to the Wilson Contreras at bat, I just wanted to make everybody aware that we've seen pitch clock violations ahead of potential standing ovations before, and Major League Baseball said that there would need to be a request 24 hours before sent to Major League Baseball so that umpires will be aware of a possible need to wave off the timer. And the Cardinals have done that. So after this hitter, when we see Wilson Contreras come to the plate, there should not be a pitch clock violation, even if there is a standing ovation, guys.
All right, T-Mac. Yeah, good info there. Yeah, we saw it out in L.A. with Cody Bellinger. Jim Wolf started him 0-1 as he got an ovation returning back to Southern California. Contreras, as T-Mac said, they put in their request. So whether it's now or in the second, the umpires are aware and they'll extend some grace.
Just seems like common sense to me. Shouldn't have to apply for a permit slip.
Drive out towards left center. Happ cutting across, and he's there to make the catch. We'll have to wait until the second. Stroman gets him 1, 2, 3. And the Cubs coming up to hit. Horner, Swanson, and Happ coming your way. This lineup is brought to you by Binny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking. The Cubs right now 4th in the National League in runs per game. Horner, Swanson, Happ. The top 3 for David Roston, Bellinger, Suzuki, Mancini. Matt Mervis will play first base and hit 7th. Wisdom and Barnhart round out the order against Miles Mikolas.
Starting pitcher for the Cardinals is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. The veteran right-hander, fastball at 93. Very good command of that fastball. Slider, curve, and change. 1-1 with a 5.79 ERA. It's been a tale of 2 cities, so 2 seasons. So far. Tale of Two Cities was a good book, by the way. Dickens, I highly recommend
overrated.
it. First 3 starts at 10.05 ERA. Last 4 starts 3.13. Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
First 3, a lot of ops. Last 4, not so much.
Come for the baseball stats, stay for the Dickens literature.
He was kind of a quick worker before the pitch clock came along.
Dickens?
Dickens had a good drop down delivery.
Michaels makes the play and underhands to first. Horner is out, and there's one away. JD, continue, please.
Cardinals defensively brought to you by Ford. Hemingway's in center. It's Dylan Carlson in center, and he's flanked by Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar. Nolan Gorman is in at third. Nolan Arenado, a late scratch. That means DeYoung gets a start at short. Edman, who was going to play short, slides over and plays second. Paul Goldschmidt's the first sacker. Andrew Kisner is behind the plate, and apparently he's going to be doing a lot of that here in the coming days and weeks.
So strike 1 to Dansby Swanson. There's Kisner back there. Of course, Yadier Molina retiring. Move on from one of the better defensive catchers we have ever seen. Kisner holds that pitch there, trying to sell the curveball for a strike, and CB Buckner wasn't having it. And here, whether you buy into catcher ERA or not, that's the tale so far. Joe Girardi, do you buy into catcher ERA?
I do, but I also buy into it's a long year, and this is a pretty small sample size. If you have 2 blowouts, your ERA is going to be hard. And the other thing is, he has to learn this staff. I mean, Michaelis and Wainwright were gone during the WBC. Genesis Cabrera was gone during the WBC. Giovanni Cabrera was gone during the Gallegos, the WBC. So. And I've always thought that the hardest position to learn quickly about a staff is a catcher, because you have to learn your staff. And it's 13 guys. They don't really see a lot of pressure in spring training, so you really don't know how they're going to react until you get into the season. So I do buy into it, but over a whole year or 2 is what I buy into, not just a month and a half.
It was on a 5-year, $87.5 million deal that Wilson signed. So the assumption is that he will ultimately become their primary catcher again. They just want to get him up to speed. When you read the comments from John Mozeliak, there's a lot to learn about how we do things, and Wilson's just not there yet. It's kind of like a quarterback in a new system, right? Has to learn the playbook and all the different routes the receivers run and all the check downs. And listen to me talking football like I know what I'm talking about.
Sounded really good.
Yeah. But there is it's kind of similar to that, and they just don't feel like he's there yet.
And Flaherty made a comment the other day that he said it just seems like we're throwing the wrong pitch when we get to 2 strikes. Well, I would ask you, you have the option of shaking off, but with this pitch clock, sometimes it goes too fast and they can't shake enough.
Swanson hanging in there. Good at bat from Dansby Swanson, grinding away.
Yeah, and I haven't seen this team play a bunch, but they are, I believe, tied for the league lead in pitcher violations. So that, maybe that's part of it, just having a hard time getting on the same page.
3-2. And a swing and a miss. He got him on the curveball on pitch number 10. Let's check out our keys to the game. They're brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Yeah, what do we got? Oh, solid gold. Yeah, anytime you play the Cardinals, you got to talk about Paul Goldschmidt. He's been rock solid here in the early going of this year. 3 home runs yesterday. Miles Michaelis, he's given up some home runs this year. Normally does a good job keeping the ball in the ballpark, but his home run rate is 5th highest in the National League. And who's available out of that bullpen after a 14-inning game yesterday? Might be a little bit short out there for Rossi. Cardinals might have some tired arms too.
Ball and no strikes to Ian Happ. Skies that one down the right side, and that'll twist off into the seats. And 1-1 on Ian.
Well, Miles Michaelis is more of a like 2-to-1 fly balls or air outs to ground ball outs. So I would think with this wind today and these cold temperatures, that should play favorable for him.
2 down, base is clear.
He's got 2 really good breaking balls. He's got the slower curveball and the slider that he can throw to all different zones. He can flip them in for a strike. He can go below the zone. He can go up with his fastball. He can sink his fastball. He's just got a lot of different looks that you have to contend to as a hitter.
Line drive and a base hit into right field. Ian Happ stays hot from that left side. A 2-out base runner. And here comes Cody Bellinger.
Looks like he tried to front hip him with that sinker, and it got too much of the plate. And Ian Happ just stays on it, doesn't give up on it. I mean, that's such an effective pitch. Greg Maddux, I mean, he was so good at it. And you give up it as a hitter, but it comes back. And he'll do it backdoor to righties, so righties can't give up on his fastball away either.
Here's Bellinger now. And strike one to Cody, who thought it was low. K-Zone did as well.
And Cody was right.
See the overall numbers after starting the year 1 for 15. He's hit .333, and the overall average rests at an even .300. That's in for a strike, and now it's 0-2.
So what do you do here, JD? You got the one that was below the zone of strike. Now you hit the edge on the lower. Do you go up here, or do you try to expand more down and see if you get Cody to chase?
Yeah,
he's afraid to take it.
Well, I threw a little backdoor curveball there. I'm not sure that's exactly what he wanted to do with that pitch. I think the play there might be to bury the breaking ball in the dirt and see if he can get a chase. Well, that's the thing, right? When you, as a pitcher, once you get 0-2, there are a lot of things available to you. And a lot of times it comes down to what you do best and where the hitter's hole is. For some guys, that's elevating the fastball. Other guys are very comfortable trying to throw that breaking ball in the dirt. I had a hard time throwing the ball in the dirt.
I would have liked you. I wouldn't have had to block so many
No,
balls.
you wouldn't have had to block any.
No.
But so JD, if in a spot they came to you and they said, okay, this guy right-hander, he's got a hole down and in, would you just sort of wave the flag on it, or would you try it even though that wasn't really your specialty?
I would try to throw my slider down and in, but just bouncing the breaking pitch was something I had a hard time doing.
Were you a catcher before, and you didn't like to block baseballs?
No.
Felt force?
I remember, like on my side session sometimes, intentionally, and pity the poor bullpen catcher, good old Stretch Suba. You know, I'd be working on bouncing the ball. You know, but once I got into a game, the way I released the ball was tough to get there.
Line drive, base hit, and that's out into right center field. Happ not stopping, and they're at the corners. Well, one of the issues that Michaelis has had this year, for whatever reason, the fastball, both the two-seamer and the four-seamer have really gotten hit, and I mean to the tune of almost 400.
A location, right? I mean, that's center cut at 93 miles per hour, and Bellinger's all over it. And when push comes to shove, Michaelis is going to throw it over the plate.
Well,
does not walk people.
The Cardinals, they have struggled with getting hitters out with 2 strikes. I mean, that has been their biggest bugaboo for this pitching staff all year long. And you could say it's the wrong pitch, or the right pitch, but he threw it right down the middle. So that, to me, he's been executing all night. He stayed on the edges. 2 strikes, he throws one down the middle. And when does it become like in your head, JD? I mean, their whole staff has given up so many hits with 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I think it varies from individual to individual. You know, when things kind of flip into a point where you just obsess about it, you tell yourself not to do it. The more you think about it, the more you're likely to do it.
I mean, you look at those numbers, 171, you know, for all of baseball. It's 298, and this guy's got really good stuff to put you away. I would think at some point you'll see Belly, who's been running a lot, who's 9 for 10 with stolen bases this year, take off, because Kisner's only 1 for 12 in throwing base runners out. Does not have a strong arm. It's probably average. May not throw through, and you may end up getting 2 runs if Suzuki can get a hit.
Now for Seiya, facing a guy whose fastball is getting hit, that's one thing that Seiya has done since he's come over from Japan. He has hit the fastball to the tune of north of 300. It's everything else at times that has given him some trouble. Upstairs with that one.
See, and I think that's where he was trying to go with Cody, like just above the zone to see if he could get him to chase it up. He'd been down. He's trying to change his eye level, and he threw it right down the middle.
Cubs making Michaelis work. He's thrown 27 pitches. Ahead here, 1-2. Outside. Miles Michaelis was originally drafted by the Padres back in 2009. Really got his career on the right track over in Japan. As Suzuki swings and misses, and that's that. Cubs leave a couple. We'll go to the nice moment there. One of the things you think of fans giving players an ovation, but guys in the Cubs dugout and the starting pitcher applauding Wilson Contreras. So these two former battery mates, and Stroh pumps in a fastball for a strike. Contreras, then Donovan, and then DeYoung as the Cardinals come up to hit in inning number 2. No score. Cardinals at 11-24. Worst start for them since 1973. Ground ball up the middle, and that's a base hit. And Wilson Contreras.
He's reacting to the boos that he's hearing. He's boos as well as cheers first time up, and he has no problem playing the villain.
No.
A fairly predictable result in that it was on the ground, right? With Stroman on the mound and Contreras hitting. And the ground ball had some pace, though, and it found a hole, and it's a leadoff knock for Contreras.
I'll tell you what, the Cardinals have showed bunt. Nootbaar showed it, Donovan. You see where Patrick Wisdom is playing in the infield. To me, that has to be Stroh's ball. Stroh's going to have to get that because he's not close enough. Now he's moving in a little bit more, but you're kind of in no man's land.
Running towards third and foul. I think the only thing is that there's not too many guys better than Stroman, and
no.
Most cases it is his ball.
And that's why Donovan's trying to get it by Stroman. You saw him bunt it hard down the third baseline because that's a really tough play for Wisdom, having to run, really to his right and then throw back across his body. He's not going to be able to make that play.
Ground ball, and that's a base hit out into right center field. Contreras not stopping, racing for third, and they're at the corners.
You know what I find interesting about that? You think about in the days of shift, right? Both those balls might be outs, right? Because you'd have 3 men on that side of the infield with Wilson's and this one. I mean, that's probably an out. You may not get the double play, but it's probably an out, and that's how the game has changed. I think the left-handed hitters are really going to benefit from this.
Yeah, and that's why it would have been reasonable to expect that the new rules would affect a guy like Stroman as much as anybody in the game. But so far this year, it has not. The batting average on balls in play against him is really low.
And I think you have to give some credit to the positioning, and I think the coaches, what they're doing to Stroman, because it's weaker contact, but to the infield defense. They're third in converting ground balls into outs. Their percentage just slightly behind Arizona and Tampa.
Line drive into right field, hanging up, caught Suzuki as he fires it into the plate on a fly. Woo! And a smile from Willie.
Willie does know that arm, and this is a ball that's probably hit the hardest during the inning, and he's got nothing to show for it. And Wilson kind of got no man's land and could tag up. I don't think he would have tagged up anyway, but it's just, it's just a tough break for DeYoung. Now you get that double play ball here. Get another ground ball, this one at somebody.
Carlson and Edman behind him in the batting order, both switch hitters. They're both better from the right side than they are from the left side. And overall, the number's not good for Dylan Carlson so far this year. 235 average, 284 on base. I figure there's a lot more in there. Pretty talented young player, like a lot of Cardinals, off to a slow start.
Line drive into left field. That's a base hit, and the Cardinals strike first. So an RBI single for Dylan Carlson, 1-0 St. Louis.
Well, this is a fantastic at bat because I think if you try to pull this pitch, you're going to hit it on the ground, and he stays inside of it. I mean, it's a good pitch. It's down in the zone where most lefties like it. It's not inside. It's middle in. Stays inside, hits a hard line drive to left field. See kind of a tricky bounce on Happ, but he does a good job of making sure that no one advances any more than they should.
And now it's Tommy Edman. And strike one to the second baseman, a guy who could play all over the place. Good speed, really good base runner, solid defender.
Really good range, really good range. Doesn't have the arm that a DeYoung has, but I mean, he's a really good player. And he's got sneaky pop. 5 home runs already. I mean, you look at his stature and you're not thinking that's the case.
He and Nico Hoerner were teammates for a year at Stanford. Nico's freshman year, Edman was the shortstop. Nico was the second baseman. And then Tommy, who was drafted by the Cardinals in the 6th round in 2016, moved on to the professional ranks, and Nico slid over to short. And Stroman goes upstairs and gets the swing and miss. So 2 down now.
We talk about Stroman being a guy who works, consistently down, down, down. Every once in a while he'll elevate, and that time he does effectively to get the punch out of Edman.
I love the target that Tucker Barnhart gave there. He got up. I mean, he gave that above the zone his target, and I think that's what you have to do, because I think pitchers like that visual.
Oh my goodness, foul ball, and let's see if CB Buckner's okay. Something came off the mask or the belt pack, because I saw a piece of equipment fall down onto the ground.
Looks like Tucker had it in his hand. Was it the throat guard? Do they wear a little extra throat guard?
It was the throat guard. Neil Ramp, the trainer, out there examining along with the rest of the umpiring crew.
Oof. I'm always amazed at how quick that a catcher or umpire reacts to the other getting hit. Right? There's that respect level there that you know what it feels like. You know how dangerous it is. Tucker turned around and kind of grabbed him because he was worried that he was going to fall down. And hopefully that he's okay. I mean, this is 92, basically straight off the face mask. You hear him say, ow.
To the right, that's Jeff Nelson. He's the crew chief. See if he's okay.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good sign that he's attaching it, because that probably means that he's going to stay in the game.
Yeah.
Looks like Stroh wants to throw a few. He doesn't want to get cold here. The situation that's going on, first and second.
CB Buckner, the veteran umpire, taking one right off the chin. Marcus Stroman, some warm-up pitches, and this game is available in Spanish, folks. It's brought to you by Toyota on your SAP audio setting, provided by Tudian, Univision Sports Chicago, 1200 AM. CB Buckner has been Major League umpire since 1999. Grew up in New York, but born in Jamaica.
He played college ball at SUNY Cortland. He was a Red Dragon.
Really?
Played center field. Yeah, I played against him.
Did you strike him out?
I don't remember. I'll go with yes.
Pull those numbers up. It's box scores.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, I think that first swing that Kisner took brought him a breaking ball. Might have bring him another one right here.
Cardinals jump out front on a Dylan Carlson RBI single. 2 aboard and 2 out. Stroman trying to keep it right there. And that is strike 3. And the inning is over. We're midway in inning number 2. 1-0. Well, Michaelis will get back to work as he'll face Trey Mancini. Mancini, then Mervis, and then Wisdom. Well, Trey at 264.
You know, but you were fired up a little bit today about some stat on runners in scoring position, right? I don't remember what it was.
I was.
Yeah. Trey Mancini on 417 was hitting 196.
Yeah.
I remember Don Zimmer used to tell me if you're a 270 hitter, you're going to hit 270. If you're a 280 hitter. Trey Mancini's about a 265 hitter. Look what he's up to.
I know it.
You will get back to your law of averages in this game eventually.
Yep. Yeah, I was just cranky about. Was I cranky, JD? A little.
Yeah, a little bit.
I think you were
Moderately.
being defensive for this certain team.
Well, I think this. My point was just simply, it was just being written about the idea of, oh my gosh, in the last 10 games, the Cubs are 186 with men in scoring position. And no one was writing, oh my gosh, in the first 24 games, they're 310 with men in scoring position. That's amazing. That's not sustainable.
No, it's not.
And to me, it's just like, yeah, that's how you get to 271, everybody.
You have good weeks and you have not so good weeks.
And Mancini didn't like that. And he'll stick around for an extra second.
Yeah, the sympathy for ZB will wear off
in a hurry.
Yeah, he struggles back there. He always has. That's the reputation. He struggles with balls and strikes. Well, obviously, nobody wants to see him get dinged in the face with 95 miles per hour. But he's already had some beefs with Michaelis, a couple of the hitters.
Well, the first pitch of the game, Michaelis threw was a strike, and we called it a ball. Gave one to him on Bellinger, one there.
The 1-0 finds the mark to mash Mervis.
And I think what upsets hitters the most is when it's the 2-strike one that they give him. You know, you give them the first pitch, hitters have a chance to adjust, right? And you still got, but when you give them that last one, the bat's over.
Mervis takes outside, 3 balls and a strike. But one of the things Mervis has shown in the minor leagues, he'll take his walks, he gets on base. 3 different levels last year. 309 the average, 379 the on base. Popped up left side, and that'll get out of play. I asked a couple of things yesterday. I said, I wonder if he knows who Purvis Ellison is. Remember, he got the nickname Never Nervous.
Never Nervous Purvis.
He does.
Okay,
And then
I don't.
And then you don't remember Purvis Ellison when they beat Duke 86?
No.
Okay. And then I asked him about Toto and Hold the Line. He said, I just heard the song and I liked it. Say,
Oh, it is a good song.
good song. And Mervis will take his base. So a 1-out walk. Did you have a walk-up song, Joe Girardi?
No, I didn't really pick one. I mean, anything, I told him anything by the Rolling Stones was good with me.
Okay.
Yeah, anything.
JD, have you said what your walk-up or walk-out song is?
We didn't have that. Didn't exist in my day.
They didn't have speakers back then.
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I didn't play that much before you, but we didn't do the walk-up. I didn't realize you had walk-up music.
Well, here it was the organ, right? Here it was the organ.
But it was something that somebody asked you. What is your walk-up? You got to pick.
When I got to New York, they wanted to know your walk-up song.
Really?
I'm sorry, JD.
So here was Gary Presley.
The look you just gave Joe Girardi was
No, that was the dumbest read in my life.
Like didn't play that much different.
Well, that's what I mean. In my era, I don't remember anybody having any walk-up music, so it must have been introduced shortly after.
What was your last year?
Well, 94, basically.
What was actually your last year?
Well, I had 2 starts in 95.
There you go.
So 95.
Yeah.
Well, I know in 96 when I was with the Yankees, they had walk-up
you had
song.
walk-up song.
Yeah.
Budweiser broadcast booth. This Bud's for you.
Maybe
Bud.
guys had walk-up songs and I just wasn't aware of it.
But you didn't hit.
Well, I hit, but I batted. But nobody asked me what my walk-up song should be.
Even when you took the mound, you didn't have one.
No.
What would have been your walk-up song? What's the one stuck in your head today?
I just called to say I love you.
That's what I would go for.
Line drive, base hit into center field. And Patrick Wisdom with the knock. 2 on and 1 out.
It's some hard hit balls in this game. Both sides here in the early going. This one 98 miles per hour off the bat of Wisdom. Stays back nicely on that slow curveball. Foot down, head still. Delivers the barrel.
The little scissor kick at the end. You know, I think the big thing for him is staying off that pitch that's up.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if he does that, he has a chance to do damage. And he saw some pretty good pitching in, 6 out of the last 9 to 10 games with the Marlins. Power that they have.
Foul ball first base side downstairs and T-Mac.
Well, while we're on the topic of walkout music, you heard Tucker Barnhart walk out to some country music there. If you didn't know, this guy actually a musician as well, loves to play the guitar. His dad was in a band. I asked him, how often do you play the guitar? And he says about 2 times a week. In the off season, it's a little bit more. And I said, okay, your go-to song, if you have one song to play, is Mr. Misunderstood by Eric Church.
Ooh.
Do any of you 3 know any of the words of that song?
No.
No, I've heard that name though, Eric.
I know Eric Church, but I don't necessarily.
Do you know the words of that song?
No.
Oh.
But I know Eric Church, yeah. I was hoping one of you would break out the lyrics.
Oh. Good luck.
I tell you what, that's like perfect pitching, JD. He threw that slider. He has 2 different sliders. He has one that has more depth, and he'll tighten it up when he goes into left-handers in more of a flat. He threw it inside off the plate, and he came back with that front hip sinker, and Tucker gave up on it.
And then he stays in the same lane, only with the slider that's cutting in on his hands a little bit. Pitchability is really good for Michaelis. Since he came into the league, or back to the big leagues, I should say, in 2018, he has the lowest walk rate among all active pitchers.
3-2. Inside corner, and Barnhart is gone.
Well, there's that front hip sinker after the slider in, and it looks like it's going to be ball, and whoop, comes back. I'm not sure it got all the way back. I mean, it's really close. Wow, that's a perfect pitch. There's not much you can do with that. Luckily, you can foul it off.
There's Nico Hoerner now, 2 aboard and 2 outs.
I've been really impressed with Nico's approach and his at-bats with runners in scoring position. He's hitting, what, 357. I mean, 19 runs driven in a leadoff spot this early in the year is really impressive for a guy that doesn't hit a lot of home runs. It's not like he's going to drop 30 homers that way.
In the air down the right side. Out of play, 0-2. Hoerner tied for 30 in the majors with 46 hits. Nico will turn 26 this coming Saturday, so you still got time to get your shopping done for him.
What'd you get him, Boo?
Of anything.
Cupcake? Nice for good cupcakes in Minnesota.
Yes.
94 with sink at the bottom of the knees. I've got breaking news for you. My sister chimes in that Billy Hatcher had a walk-up song.
He did. What was it?
I don't know. She just said he had a walk-up song. And I was teammates with Hatch, so they existed, I guess. We now return to your record program.
Line drive into right field, but it hangs up. And a catch made by Nootbaar. Horner lines out. 1-0 into 2.
Morel was recalled from AAA Iowa, and Nelson Velasquez was optioned. Now, in the words of David Ross, Morel has been literally the best offensive minor league player this year. And to his point, through 29 games, he has 1156 OPS. So David Ross saying that he has earned every right to come up here and get some playing time. And then on the opposite of that, Nelson Velasquez, it will be good for him to go down to AAA and get some consistent ABs, guys.
Cody Bellinger coming across and grabbing that liner off the bat of Lars Nootbaar. Morel's been playing a lot of center field. Obviously can play third also. So there are a lot of possibilities for where he could get plugged in.
And with Christopher Morel, we know one thing. There's going to be a lot of hugs upon his return. So it was pretty funny today pregame. This was him catching up with Wilson Contreras. They were good pals in the clubhouse a year ago, but it was also awesome talking to some of the security guards who stand down here pregame. They said he came up to them and gave all of them a hug, like, hey guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? And so that made a lot of people smile down here pregame.
It's about as authentic as it gets. And I was even talking to Matt Mervis about him. I had him giggling because, you know, he getting a chance to play with him. He knows about it firsthand. But I told him about last year hugging Paul Goldschmidt just randomly when he got to first base. Goldie didn't quite know what to do, but it's a personality that is just infectious, and everybody always seems to be smiling around him.
Well, I kind of like what the Cubs did there in this sense, because Nelson's not playing every day, right? And I think for young players, it's important that they get their at-bats and stay sharp. And it's a way that you can send him down to get sharp again.
Wisdom. And they get Goldschmidt. He runs better than you think. And Patrick just able to get him.
Yeah, that's a tough play where you get a lot of times with sinker ballers, right? They just top it and hit it off the end of the bat, trying to get the head to it, and you got to charge it, and you got to get that hop and get rid of it quickly. And really a nice play by Patrick Wisdom.
Goldschmidt, for a big, strong first baseman, probably an average runner, maybe even a little bit better than average.
Well, the backhanded slap I used to get all the time was that I ran well for a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure.
He runs really well for a first baseman. I'm going to give him one.
You know, the Cubs, they limit contact, and then that stat's important because you're number 3 in the bigs at turning ground balls into outs, and as a staff, you generate the lowest hard hit rate going. Dansby under it and makes the grab. Stroman gets him 1-2-3 as he retires Nolan Gorman. Middle of the third, it's 1-0. Deshays, Taylor McGregor.
We got to mention foggy too.
It is a little foggy.
So that building out in center field that you don't see the top.
Yeah.
I used to live on the top.
Is that right?
Yeah, I was like on the 55th or the 56th floor.
That building.
Yes. So I wouldn't have been able to see the game tonight.
On a bounce, and DeYoung handles it on a hard hop. It shows off that throwing arm.
Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Download the FanDuel app now to check out their live betting options and start making every moment more. Little shortstop on shortstop crime right there. Another well-hit ball, too.
What happened there?
Maybe Kisner got hit with the follow-through.
Yeah.
See, it happens a lot with Ian, that big long follow-through he's got. Just a little love tap. How you doing, man?
I tell you what, as a catcher, I used to get so mad at that. And as a manager, I knew all the guys that had those type of swings, and I would yell at my catcher to scoot back because I didn't want him to get hurt. And I think they probably thought I was crazy because I would yell every time they came up, just to remind them. You know, they're like, you don't think I can remember that? I got to remember all these pitches to call, and I can't remember to stay back.
Until that one time you don't remind them, they get clipped, and there's a, hey,
That's
Skip,
right.
what happened, man?
Yeah.
Why didn't you remind me?
And Happ a little frustrated by CB Buckner on a pitch that appeared to be out of the zone.
The third strikeout for Michaelis here, or fifth strikeout already. 3 of them looking. At least 2 of them have been pitches that have been off the plate.
What are you giggling about?
That one's in the zone. And I tell you what, it is amazing how good hitters' eyes are. They know when it's 2 inches off the plate. They know when it's on the plate. And as a manager, a lot of times you start yelling at this, and this just doesn't turn out good. It doesn't turn out good for managers when you have some of these balls that are being called strikes that aren't strikes. Oliver, I know, has been prone to yell a little bit from his side of the dugout.
Well, he and CB have some history too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they have prior beef.
Yeah, they got into it last year, and then this year in spring training, CB refused to shake Marmol's hand at the start of a ball game. That's a good changeup.
They did shake hands pregame here today. Bellinger down on strikes.
Brought to you by T-Mobile, our coverage cam. Taking a peek at Wilson Contreras. It's smattering of booze as well when he was first introduced. Got himself a knock. Waving to the Cardinal fans, saying, "Give me some love."
I mean, part of it is going to be, I think some of the negativity is going to be fueled by it's the Cardinals, right? I mean, if he came in a Royals uniform.
Well, that and some of the comments he made when he went to St. Louis, kind of embracing, you know, kind of, you know, he's a very emotional guy, and I think he was hurt by the fact that he wasn't able to.
Swanson diving, 1-hop throw, Gold Glover, baby. I don't know that there are many, if any, shortstops better on the backhand than Dansby Swanson.
And this ball is smoked.
117.5
off the bat, and you see the quick reaction to the dive. What's amazing to me is how quickly he gets up. Like, he does not have the strongest arm, but he really knows how to play the position. He knows the base runner. He knows that he can bounce it. He got it in the air. As soon as he catches it, he gets it in the air, so he has plenty of time to get over there. What a play.
One of the things that we anticipated for the Cubs this year was that the defense would be improved. And when you look at the different team metrics, defensive runs saved from 21st to 9th, outs above average 27th to 9th, defensive efficiency is 15th to 3rd. And that's towards first. Mervis will handle the chance. By the way, Matt has looked good at first base. Good hands, picking the ball. Defensive efficiency is a good one in terms of marrying the pitching and the defense together. It's basically just percentage of balls in play that you turn into outs. So with the Cubs, when you're talking about a staff that generates soft contact, you got guys like Mervis out there picking at first, and Swanson and Horner and Wisdom.
There's so much that goes into that too, right? I mean, it's range, right? It's arm strength, it's positioning, it's reading swings, it's weak contact, being able to make all kind of different plays, being able to go to your left, right, being able to come in when you have to, turning double plays when you get the opportunity. There's so many things that go into it, and this group has been really good at it.
And to put a cap on the Swanson play on Contreras, he didn't just turn in a spectacular play on a ball 117. The capper is Dansby Swanson. Took the hardest hit ball in the majors this year and turned it into an out.
The hardest hit, that's it.
Oh, fourth hardest, beg your pardon. The 1-2. Check swing and a ball in the dirt.
When do you think, JD, that they're going to give up pitchers one free disengagement? So, A, the catcher doesn't have to run out there, or it's, you know what I'm saying?
I could see it coming, sure.
Yeah. I think it's only fair, because there's a lot that goes through their mind as well. Probably a lot more than a hitter.
I see no problem.
You wouldn't give them one?
What's happening? What results are we not happy with?
Well, I think there's big pitches in the game that maybe a pitcher needs to think about a little more once in a while. I do.
I feel you.
No, you don't.
Well,
Miles Michaelis here in the home fourth. This season, fans in Illinois can purchase Cubs Charities 50/50 raffle tickets starting at 11 a.m. through the end of each game at Cubs.com/raffle or from a raffle ambassador here at Wrigley Field through the 8th inning.
still too cold for the yellow. There's a strike to Trey Mancini. We're in the bottom of the fourth. In the air, right field, and charging in is Lars Nootbaar.
Now's the time for a healthy start. So let's recharge and play. And do what we love with who we love. Together, let's live well.
So 2 away, and Matt Mervis will come up to hit. Walked his first time up. Mash still looking for his first big league homer.
I tell you what, I was impressed with the swing that he took off of Alcantara when he took that 96-mile-an-hour running fastball away and whistled it between second and first yesterday. I was like, good Lord. I mean, he hit a bullet.
I'll tell you what, the group of pitchers that he had to deal with to start, it was, and I know it's the big leagues, but Cabrera and Alcantara were the righties, and then he just faced all these lefties.
Okert and
Tanner Scott and Puck.
98, Puck. Yeah, his at-bats have not been easy.
No.
But, I mean, it is the big leagues, but he happened to run in against some pretty tough left-handers with velocity and breaking balls, and 2 right-handers that have excellent stuff. I mean, Sandy was the Cy Young last year.
In there, and Mervis down on strike, so Buckner rings up the rookie. 1, 2, 3 go the Cubs.
This on Instagram, all smiles you can say, and around these parts we call him Mash, right? I know his parents, Jeff and Ellen. There's the family shot right there with siblings Dylan and Samantha. They were enjoying it all, and there was a big group with him this weekend. Here's a look at everybody, some cousins, some friends, some family, his agent. It's really cool with Major League debuts, getting to celebrate it with everybody who helped along the journey, and I know that was the sentiment that Mervis echoed.
Yeah, kid from the D.C. area, played his college ball at Duke. Little roller, Mervis. And C.B. Buckner saying foul is his call.
So we got a Dookie on the mound and a Dookie at first base.
That's right.
Yeah, this ball just couldn't hold down long enough. Matt's trying to get it. You know, he's hustling in to try to get it. And it just crosses the line. Oh. I mean, you talked about how Stroh had to to keep his pitch count down. He's done it so far. And I don't want to be the jinx here, but we're in the 5th inning, and he's only thrown 54 pitches so far. So, I mean, he's done a really good job. Because of that game yesterday, the bullpen's a little light.
In the air to left field. Ian Happ. I believe Ian Happ has added the gator. Yes, he has. He's got the best gator.
And why is that called a gator?
I don't know.
Time now for our Indeed player resume, and we're looking at Stroman and Steele. Boy, have they been good. ERA, Justin Steele leads the National League. Marcus at 5th, opponent batting average 3rd and 5th respectively. They're not giving up any slugging to speak of. You know, add what Drew Smiley has done, and really good work by the Cubs starters. But the 1-2 punch, about as good as anybody in the business, right? Hard to argue with those numbers.
I mean, they're trying to get it down. They just can't. And I think that's one of the reasons that you don't sell out for the bunt as a third baseman, or as, you know, the Cubs defense. They have a record of how many times they've tried it and how many times they've been successful. It's not, you know, that's like 4 times they've tried it and they have not been successful yet. So you keep track of all those stats and look at not just the bunt base hits or the balls they get fair, but you also look at how many they bunt foul. And you take a percentage and take a chance that they're not going to get it fair. And I remember going through like every clip of a hitter that bunted, you know, just trying to see how many of them were fair and how many of them were foul, and if it was worth playing a guy in. Because they have the clips like in 5-second clips, and you could watch hundreds of them. When they did it, who they did it off of, was it a certain pitcher or a type of pitcher, a certain type of third baseman, just trying to make sure that you were prepared for the game.
Well, this guy handles the bat pretty well. Stroman. Marcus back to work. 2-2. Swanson to his right. Unloads quickly. Mervis, nice pick.
Well, Boog, there's your backhand that you love so much. I mean, he's just, it's the hardest thing to learn as an infielder, I think, the backhand, because it doesn't come natural for you. But just look at his presence. I know I have a fast runner. I have to get rid of it. And then Mervis makes the nice scoop.
That's the clock, right?
Yeah, that internal clock. And some guys take a long time to learn that internal clock. I mean, that's one of the things that you need to practice as infielders. And sometimes they'll put a clock on the field and say, hey, this is a guy that's 3.9. This is a guy that's 4.5, you know, to first base. So you can practice it. And in your scouting reports, you'll know who busted down the line and who can really run. And then you know when you have to get rid of it.
Barnhart, that got a piece of him, and umpire giving him some love.
And that's the one thing. Kisner's had some pretty good swings at his fastball. Did not have good swings at his slider. Fouled the one off a CB he just missed. Oh, that was a late call. It's the right call. I think he had to process what he saw.
Well, you know what they're saying in the dugout, right?
Yeah.
You had to wait for the coin to come down.
Remember the old great Doug Harvey would tell you it was a half an inch outside. It's an inch outside. Like, really, Doug?
Broke around the plate, son. It's always son.
Here's a 2-2. A half an inch outside.
Oh, Greg Maddux would. I remember Greg Maddux yelled at him one time. Oh, I was laughing back there. I mean, they used to call him God, right?
Yeah.
Doug Harvey, God. Fun to work with. Son, that's a Hall of Fame pitch, he would tell you.
2-2.
Yeah, he did.
Oh.
Yeah, he probably didn't.
It's when the dugout's all, yeah, he did. Check it, right? Yeah, Stroman has him checking the third base up. Or maybe he was calling a strike.
I think Marcus was ringing him up.
Yeah.
Stroman, you go back to July 9th of last year. In 23 starts, he's got a 244 ERA. And he's been one of the best pitchers in baseball. Only Gallen and Ohtani better. Zach Gallen, who, by the way, was originally drafted by the Cardinals. In there, got him. Stroman with another strikeout. And he's retired 11 in a row.
Appreciation Week. Said thanks to all the teachers for everything they do, and was able to walk through the hallway and say what's up to some of the kids. Here's a nice look there. Now at Hamilton Elementary, there is a Wrigley Field themed teachers lounge that was funded by Cubs Charities, opened up in the fall, so he was able to see that as well. And just a big thank you to all the teachers out there for everything they do, and pretty awesome of Patrick to recognize it.
Really good stuff. Pitch in for a strike to Patrick, who singled his first time. Got 11 homers. Only Max Muncy has hit more. Joe, we were going over his home road splits are kind of weird, right? Coming in 137 at home, 310 on the road.
Sometimes they just don't make sense. Like you look at Stroman splits last year in the beginning, right? He really struggled at home, and then he was, and then he kind of figured it out. He was really good on the road. I mean, and it changes from year to year. It's just really weird.
Good take right there. The leadoff man is on. So Wisdom, who came in the last 13 hitting 154, he is singled, and now he's walked, and a man on for Tucker Barnhart.
This is when you'd like to see Tucker hit that hole, right? Derek Jeter used to always yell at Grandy to hit that hole right between first and second, End up with first and third here.
Well, that hole's been unavailable for about the past 6 years.
And he's been pitching him in a lot. If you could just take like a half a step off the plate, because it's been sinkers in and sliders in, and he's kind of rotated between them. He'll throw one and then the other. There's a curveball. Wiz had an idea.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, it's a good read. Here's the thing about Michaelis. He could throw anything here. I mean, that's the type of pitcher he is. He's not a guy that needs to throw a fastball here. He has very good command of his fastball, slider, and curveball.
So he basically throws 4 pitches at least 20% of the time. So the 2 fastballs, the sinker and the 4-seamer, and then a slider and a curve, and every once in a while a changeup.
He's just going to start throwing the ball through the middle of the strike zone right now after the walk to Wisdom, falling behind Barnhart 3-0. Hey, Blood Fridays are back on Friday, May 26th. The Cubs take on the Reds at 1:20. First 5,000 fans in the Budweiser bleachers, 21 and older, will receive a 1914 cap presented by Budweiser. Purchase tickets, Cubs.com/tickets.
It's a good looking lid.
Well, you called it, dude. And his best swing and miss pitch is his slider. I really like that slow curveball. I mean, I would think as a hitter that would be really hard to lay off of. He, like Stroman, his best swing and miss pitch is his slider.
That's through there for a strike, and now it's 3-1 on Barnhart. He struck out looking his first time.
Put a little motion here, JD. Put Wisdom in motion.
Why not? Let's go.
Line drive. Oh, foul. Ryan Wills on that. And I mean super close. Wisdom got all the way to third.
Wisdom's not buying it. Look at this. I mean,
the challenges.
I mean, it is replayable because it's
past the bag.
Past the bag.
Past
so
the
it's
umpire.
Outfield, fair or foul.
Chicago is challenging the foul ball call.
That's Jeff Nelson, the crew chief. So fair foul, the infield constitutes the bag or in. Take a look.
It's going to be tough to see from this angle. You're going to have the angle right down the line.
Yeah, this has got to be the one,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, looks like a fair ball, right? Then they have to determine where Tucker would have got to. I think Wisdom's going to be at third base.
I mean, this is where you just got to do the John McEnroe chalk flew up.
It's the French Open's coming up, right? You walk and you see where it is. There's the spot right there on the clay courts.
And then where do they put everybody?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to look to see where Tucker was.
After review, the call in the field stands. It is a foul ball. Chicago will lose its challenge.
It must not have been enough to overturn it.
Well, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, because if it's fair, they're going to leave it fair.
JD, can I say my thing?
Go ahead.
I don't understand why the league doesn't invest in having a camera on the foul pole that shoots towards the plate, a camera behind the plate that shoots towards the right field foul pole, same both ways, that is in every stadium, that would get you locked off. Runner goes, foul back. That would get you more of those.
I have to agree with you. And I also think there should be a camera that shoots up from the pole. And the ball that gets really high above the pole, you can tell if it's fair or foul. Because that call could change the whole complexion of this game. For a camera?
JD, this is a ridiculous question because the call has been made. Do you think that was fair or foul?
I think it was fair.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say conclusively. I wish I had a better look.
Me too. This is the type of conversation you stay for, folks. Here's a 3-2. There goes the runner, and it's fouled off.
Winning run came home on a balk yesterday.
Ah,
That was gross.
gross.
And we've talked about that a little bit. He wasn't trying to deceive anybody. No.
You got the wrong guy, the wrong umpire is kind of looking for it, and you take a deep breath and call a balk on you. It's kind of silly.
I mean, he moved his glove, what, 3 inches, 4 inches?
If that. Pitch is inside, ball 4, and now 2 are aboard with nobody out.
All's well that ends well for Tucker Barnhart. He laid off that fastball that he was called out on last time, a two-seamer that ran back to the inside corner. This one didn't make it all the way there. You can understand Michaelis being a little bit frustrated because he has gotten the benefit of the doubt at times tonight with that pitch.
90 pitches already. In the first and third time, he really struggles going through the lineup. Second time, he's been much better. I mean, 386 hitters are hitting off of him the third time through the lineup, and over 1,000 OPS. So this is the time for the Cubs to take advantage of this situation. 91 pitches already. He's probably getting tired. He's getting near the end. Can't seem to find the strike zone.
Did not go, said first base umpire Ryan Wills. As he shortened a bunt. 2 balls, no strikes, the count.
Imagine a lot of the damage you see there happened in his first 3 starts rather, when he really struggled.
Out to short, DeYoung to Edman on to first, safe.
And we'll see if the Cardinals might challenge this one. DeYoung kind of laid back on that ball a little bit with Horner going down the line. Probably needed to be a little bit more aggressive.
Wow. I think it stands. What do you think?
They're going to take a look at it. Marmol just gave the headset signal.
The one thing that Goldie didn't do there is I think he could have stretched out farther, right? I think he assumed that it was going to be a double play. And I think
St.
sometimes
Louis is challenging the safe call at first base.
first basemen can stretch a little more. So we watch this replay. I mean, he could have got out there a little bit further and reached forward a little more, I think. I don't know. That's pretty good, but I think it's got to stand. What do you think, Boog?
Same.
JD?
Yeah. I was waiting for that last look. Yeah, on the playground when we were kids, it was like, it's a tie. Tie goes to the runner. That's not the way Major League Baseball operates.
Well, I do beef with that, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the tie does go to the runner.
Shouldn't it?
Because the ball has to beat the
Don't they always say there is no tie? There's no such thing as a tie.
Well,
Now with replay, there
that's
is.
fair. There is no such
I mean, I've never heard anybody, a tie goes to the runner. I've never.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. St. Louis will lose their challenge.
And Nico Hoerner standing there saying, I knew it all along.
Not a good time for challenges in the 5th inning, right? Both teams lose their challenge.
Well, Dansby Swanson with an opportunity here. Cubs still down 1-0. We're at the bottom of the 5th.
Michaelis with 3 walks tonight, the most he's issued in a game this year.
Gets away.
Only walked 9 guys all season coming into this start.
Tell you what, that sinker all of a sudden has a lot of sink on it, JD. He gets tired. And a lot of times they talk about the sinker ballers as they get tired, they get more sink sometimes. I mean, look at this ball down. Wow. And you want to try to keep the ball off the ground. So as a hitter, you got to look for something up here.
That has been one of the issues for Dansby in the early going. He's 2 for his last 23 and a lot of ground balls. Still, the on base is sensational at 377. Major League average is 321 right now. Hit hard, that ball down the line. In to score is Wisdom. Hoerner racing for third. And Nico in there. Dansby an RBI double. Let's go. 1-1.
I think there's something going on with Nico. He did not look comfortable running to third base here.
Yep.
He definitely pulled up because that's not something he would have done. Looks like he's pointing to his left hamstring a little bit. He pulls up right there. Yeah, and you see him, the grimace. Oh, gosh. These are some of the things that I never understand, too, about our baseball scheduling. You get so many off days, and what are they in the midst of 17 in a row here? This is like game 14 or 15.
Yeah, so, and he started every single game, and he's going to come out. And so is Miles Michaelis. So the night is over for both Nico Hoerner and Miles Michaelis. Pitching change brought
There, when he got right about to the shortstop position, I think that hammy took a big bite out of him.
So Nick Madrigal will run for Nico Hoerner. Great opportunity as Happ will turn around and hit right-handed.
It's Genesis Cabrera into the ballgame for the Cardinals. Hard throwing left-hander. He's had the strikeout pitch working this year, man.
Up to 97, a curveball and a slider. The one thing that scares me to death about this guy is he leaves some balls that run up and into left-handers that are dangerous, and he's not trying to do it. He just misses up arm side a lot. He's got a really good breaking ball. Didn't have his velocity in spring training, pitched in the WBC, but he's come up and he has been fantastic for him.
you're saying the total number of guys Cardinals had playing the
17.
WBC? Wow.
Total guys. Not all of them big leaguers, but 17.
Yeah.
I think 7 big leaguers played. It's hard to figure out who your team is. I mean, you know that Michaelis is going to be on, but it has to be really strange.
0-2. And that takes down and in. Stops that one now. 2-2 on Ian, who's 1 for 2 with a single.
I see the hard slider there, JD, and I see the hard curveball as well. The curveball has so much more depth and sweep to it.
Yeah, the slider doesn't have much tilt to it. It's a new pitch for him, and he's throwing it a lot, over 40% of the time.
It might be a pitch that he feels that he can command a little bit better than his fastball. When you got 96, 97, that sweep and breaking ball, I'm trying to throw that sweeping breaking ball either backdoor or I'm trying to back foot half. Kind of letting back in the count a little bit with those 2 sliders.
Magical at third, Swanson out there at second. Cubs have tied it at 1. The average sitting at 303. 4 home runs so far this year. That spoils another.
More of a ground ball hitter from the right side. A ground ball just about anywhere gets you a run here. Left-handed Ian having an all-star year. Right-handed Ian struggling a little bit.
Outside, good take. So here we go. 1 out, second and third. 1-1 game. Crowd coming to life. 3-2 to Happ. And it's ball 4. A 9-pitch at bat.
And I tell you what, that's a fantastic bat because he got down in the zone 0-2, right? And he just fought, fouled some pitches off. And some of the balls he fouled off weren't even strikes, right? He took some fastballs that were close. That's the one thing that, you know, Ian's been great at, quality at bats all year long.
There's Belly now. In the air out towards left center field. Catch made by Donovan. Tag from Madrigal. Throw to the plate. And he is out. So Brendan Donovan, who won a Gold Glove last year, utility guy, throws out Madrigal with a go-ahead run. We stay tied 1. And Marcus Stroman will get back to work. It's the top of the order, as it'll be Nootbaar, Goldschmidt, and Gorman, as the Cubs had the go-ahead run thrown out at the plate. Nootbaar 0 for 2. Lars Nootbaar got a chance to play in the WBC. He played for Team Japan. And you talk about gaining a following. I know you guys are both big on the gram, as the kids like to say. On March 1st, Lars Nootbaar had 59,000 followers on Instagram. By the end of the WBC, he had 772,000. And he now has 1 million followers on Instagram, thanks to playing for Team Japan. That is how you bump up your following.
So you're saying I need to go play for Team Japan?
That's correct. JD, if you were on Instagram, besides the, Boog, JD, and the Mac, count. That's one of the things you need to get your following going. You know, go play in the WBC.
Go to play the WBC. I could play for I don't know. Team. Pick a team. Let's make a new team.
Okay, let's make a new team.
Maybe Team France. Got French heritage.
59,000 to 772,000, and he's got 1 million followers.
Now, what's his hook with Team Japan? How did that come to be?
One of his 2 parents, I believe, is born over there.
Okay. Because Nootbaar, that's what, Dutch?
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a look at it back at this final play that ended the bottom half of the 5th inning. I've got no issues with this send here. It's an aggressive send, but the catch is the second out of the inning, so you take a shot. You hope the throw's a little bit offline. How many times do we see a play like this where short hop, the catcher mishandles it, throws a little bit offline? That time the Cardinals did everything right, and they got their man. And Genesis Cabrera was very fired up, kind of getting in Nick's face there at home plate.
Well, that's just who Genesis is. I wrote on my note as I was looking at him, right, this last week, has some antics.
Got antics.
It didn't take long.
And Magic was looking at him like, what is your deal, pal?
Yeah.
That is.
Look, it's right here.
How do old white people describe stuff? He has some antics.
That's the first thing I wrote about
That's
him.
amazing.
Plays with a lot of motion out.
A lot of antics. By the way, can confirm Lars Nootbaar's mom is from Japan. She came to the United States for college, so that is why he qualifies to play for Team Japan. And now he's got an oven mitt on. Goldschmidt down on strikes, who sent it downstairs and T-Dog.
A couple weeks ago, I did ask.
Goldschmidt down on strikes, who sent it downstairs and T-Dog.
A couple weeks ago, I did ask.
Goldschmidt down on strikes, who sent it downstairs and T-Dog.
A couple weeks ago, I did ask.
And they passed around the baseball. But he's added 2 million followers since the World Baseball Classic, Shohei Ohtani.
He's added 2 million.
Added 2 million.
Well, I know I'd get 4. My wife and my 3 kids.
In the air out towards center. Swanson over the shoulder. Just makes it look so easy.
Well, this is that ball that's kind of in no man's land, and Dansby does a good job as he's playing kind of up the middle because of Norman being a pull hitter on the ground, and he gets to it, and Cody was not able to get to it, so it's just an outstanding play. He got cheered his first at bat. He hasn't been so nice the second and third. Now he's a Cardinal. For the first at bat, he was a Cub, an old Cub.
Yeah, well, and you know, there were some boos even when they did the video tribute to him on the Jumbotron, and you know, I do think he annoyed some Cub fans with some of the things he said after he signed with the Cardinals. And again, I just circle back to the fact that Wilson's always been kind of a, you know, an emotional guy, and I think he felt bad about the way things ended here with the Cubs. And I think that was part of his motivation for saying the things that he did. But ultimately, you know, when we talk about the 2016 Cubs and his contributions to this team over the years, I think Cub fans will you know, respect and admire what he did here. Clearly, some folks are a little annoyed with him right now.
Especially when he's done. You know, when he's done playing or he's out of a Cardinal uniform, he'll be appreciated a lot more.
You know, and the other thing that comes to light, the organization took a lot of heat for not signing him to a contract extension last year, and you know, little by little started to leak out that maybe the way he game planned and called games and engaged with his pitchers wasn't what the Cubs wanted it to be. They kind of kept it under wraps, protected his values by doing that. We're seeing it now with the Cardinals already, where they've decided to make a move.
Oh, it looked like he got a clock violation.
That's big,
yeah. So one of the things he does is he kind of plays with the pitcher where he doesn't get back in to like 9 seconds. You know, with a runner on, you got 20 seconds. He'll stay out of the box, and you have to be in there within 8 seconds looking at the pitcher, and he'll wait till the last second to get in there. See what he does? Yeah. And Stroman's waiting, and he's not in. No.
Yeah, so he's not ready to hit. It's funny, I had an umpire mention that to me the other day, and Ali Marmol coming out, I think more than anything, just to defend his guy. But so there's looking at the pitcher, but there is ready to hit. That's not ready to hit.
No. Well, he had 1 foot out of the box, too. Yeah, it's something that he has done to try to control the time.
Runner goes. That one pushed foul out of play.
I mean, the pitchers have talked about how they can control the time and kind of the pace and when they go. Well, it's Wilson trying to control the pace, or at least make it even.
Stroman ready. And a 2-2. Throw down to second is too late, and Lars Nootbaar. I almost called him Nars Lootbar. A stolen base.
Well, that's the 7th stolen base that Stroman has given up in 7 attempts.
One game. We're in the 6th. In the air, center field, and that's hammered way back and off the wall. In to score is Nootbaar. Contreras into second, and he's got an RBI double.
He is relishing his time here, and the reaction he's getting from the fans, both positive and negative.
One of the questions he was asked today during his press conference, if he would embrace sort of the villain role, and he said, look, yes. And I think we're seeing exactly what he meant here. He understands the rivalry, he understands the competition, and that's sort of why he said he would embrace the villain role. But he's doing his best right there as he stands on second.
It kind of has like a pro wrestling vibe, doesn't he?
Yes.
Give him the chair. Well, he's hit the ball hard tonight.
Big time.
I tell you what, I've always thought he's a pretty good breaking ball hitter if you throw it in the zone, right? If I go back in my notes and look at what he hits and what he doesn't hit, he hits breaking balls that don't get away from him.
That ground ball that he hit to Swanson, 117, the 4th hardest ball hitting the bigs this year. That last one over 100 miles an hour for an RBI double. All 3 balls over 100 miles an hour. Line drive right field. Suzuki, whoa. That had some weird slice to it. He almost overran it. Makes the catch. Wilson Contreras back in the house, and he's given the Cardinals the lead. Makes cars that thrill. Experience the thrill yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. Seiya Suzuki lifts one in the air down the right side. I'm too cute not to be on Marquee Network. Let's see it.
Headphones on.
He's got the headphones.
Got to move the sign. Oh, there we go.
Come on.
Come on. Those should be getting a text shortly. They're like, move the sign.
Oh, there it is. Well, most people don't know it, but that's how I got this job. I stood
Made a
outside
sign?
of Marquee Network, and it said, "I'm too cute not to be on Marquee Network." And Mike Santini and Mike McCarthy said, "Absolutely, you're in."
There we go. Sign it
There
down.
he is.
Quality baby.
Yes.
Nodding off. Going to rally for the late innings.
Roller to third. And the throw gets away, and Suzuki is safe. Probably will be an infield single. Arenado scratched with some neck stiffness. You saw Gorman mainly at second last year, but third base is actually his natural position.
Well, he picked the right time to hit it because Arenado is not in there, who has the 10 gold gloves in 10 years. So
good hustle by Suzuki to get that infield. It felt like an out, didn't it, off the bat?
yeah, I thought it was
like a ball
out.
should have been turned into an out.
I tell you what, that I talked about what goes into making infielders good infielders. Going to your left, going to your right, but going in, a lot of people struggle with for whatever reason. And it looks like that might be one of the things that he struggles with, Nolan Gorman at third base.
Trey Mancini 0 for 2. Cubs down a run in the 6th. Luke Shamby, Joe Girardi, Jim Deshaies, Taylor McGregor on a Monday night here at Wrigley. Chilly, damp, foggy night. More adjectives.
Dark and stormy.
Who was it? Eddie Rabbitt that sung "I Love a Rainy Night"?
I love a rainy night. It was Eddie Rabbitt.
Was that the name?
Such a beautiful sight. Yeah. Oh. JD, big Eddie Rabbitt fan?
I'm good with Eddie. Yeah. Don't have a bunch of Eddie Rabbitt albums at home or anything like that. But
2-2 now. As Michaelis started, Cabrera took over with 1 out in the 5th. And Trey swings over the top of that one. And there's 1 down.
Cub fans, go to MarqueeSportsNetwork.com for the latest Cubs news and in-depth feature stories. Presented by Jeff Vukovich, your local nationwide insurance agent. Visit JeffVuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Ooh, there's that good slide ball.
Yeah.
One he couldn't really land it to Happ, but that was nasty there. It's all brand new for Matt Mervis up here at the big leagues. A lot of fresh arms, new arms, different stuff, different angles.
Then he throws the slower one, right? That has more depth and gets him out in front of it. I mean, he's given him 2 really tough pitches to hit. I mean, you look at this curveball drop down, knee high, outer third. I think he'd throw him another breaking ball here.
In the dirt that time, 1-2 on Mervis. Yeah, lefties at 103 against them.
Well, the good thing about him going multiple innings in throwing on Saturday and Friday for Matt is he won't be available tomorrow. He should not be available tomorrow. There's that fastball I'm talking about. He's trying to go away with that. And it just gets away from him, and it can't be a comfortable at bat for left-handers, because if you watched him and you've watched him pitch, you've seen this before.
Well, he hit a Harper in the face.
Yes,
right?
he did. Yes, he did.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Suzuki at first.
It's really another good at bat for Matt Mervis. I'm not sure how it's going to end, but not to chase that breaking ball down. The first 0-2 breaking ball he threw was not competitive. But after that fastball in, that's a pretty good pitch.
Popped him up left side. DeYoung goes out. And a catch made.
Wednesday, May 24th is Teacher Appreciation Night. Fans who purchase through the ticket offers page will receive a limited edition Cubs tumbler. Purchase tickets at Cubs.com/specials. Brad Boxberger is up in the Cub bullpen, so it looks like Stroman is done for the night.
Gave another good outing.
Another outing with very little run support.
Yeah.
On the year, he's averaging less than 2 runs per game of run support.
Awkward swing for Wisdom. Ball to strike on Patrick, who singled and walked.
You know, that's probably a product of, you know, you talk about Marcus is a guy you'd love to play behind because he works fast and there's a lot of action, right? And you're not standing out there a long time. Problem is he's always faced up against the other team's #1 starter. And that's why run support probably has been so tough to come by. This would be a really good time for Patrick to tie Max Muncy for the home run rate.
I'm in. Curls foul. May 25th of 2021 is when Wisdom made his season debut that year for the Cubs. Since that point, he has 64 home runs. There are 4 dudes in the National League that have more homers than him.
And those guys play every day. Patrick hasn't in that time period.
It's a pretty good group.
Yeah.
To be part of. And he was tied with Goldie until he hit the 3 homers. Runner at first, 2 down. And a 2-2. Too high.
I tell you what, if I was a hitter off of him, I'd almost eliminate the fastball. How many have you seen him throw for strikes? He just doesn't. And I know it's really hard to do that, to be able to say, I'm just going to sit breaking ball. But at least until 2 strikes, you could take a chance.
3-2. Line but foul. That hard.
Thank God for that net, right?
Remember when everybody was wondering, how are we going to be able to see? I don't know whether the fans will like it. Everybody's fine.
Everyone likes it.
Yeah, everyone likes it.
Somebody's got a broken finger there if they try to catch that.
Two is high and a good take. So Wisdom's been on base 3 times. And they'll pull back Barnhart, and Miguel Amaya is going to get an opportunity.
Jordan Hicks is up in the Cardinal bullpen. Somebody's answering the phone.
Red alert.
And now Oli Marmol out of the dugout. Pitching change. Genesis Cabrera Nico Hoerner, by the way, leaving with left hamstring tightness. Pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time. Taylor McGregor, Wrigley Field, and Jordan Hicks will take over. 15th appearance, 13 innings, a 7.62 ERA.
Yeah, he's got a big arm. He's got a fastball that routinely over 100 miles per hour. He'll generate a lot of swings and miss, a lot of strikeouts, but the walk rate is very high. Last time out against Detroit, back on the 5th, he allowed 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Been on a pretty good roll prior to that one. Got to be ready to hit that good gas.
Up to 103, JD. 98's on the low side.
Yeah, that's just get it in there, get it over. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? For whatever reason, he moved on the mound in the beginning of the season. He went to the middle of the mound, and he's always been a guy that really stood closer to first base.
And now he's back.
And I think his sinker was probably running in off the plate. He was hitting a lot of guys.
A little roller. That's a foul ball. Yeah, it looks.
I mean, you look at the run on that ball. I mean, that's 99 going in on your hands. And it starts out over the plate. So you say, okay, I'm going to swing at this. And this ball ends up in. I mean, that ball started on the outside corner when it left his hand. You can't pull your hands in enough there, JD.
How about that assignment off the bench?
Yeah.
Get kid, grab a bat.
Get it started early.
Now. And then he's got that.
Hicks gets Amaya with the slider. And the Cubs leave a couple. End of 6. It's to Hoerner, leaving the game with a strained left hamstring. Dansby Swanson has produced the lone run, and Wilson Contreras with a couple of hits, including an RBI double in the 6th. That's the difference in the game. If you miss what happened to Nico Hoerner, here's what happened to Nico Hoerner on Swanson's double. You could see him grimace and slow down. Sure, if that hadn't happened, if he would have been able to score, but had to have a shot. Went into the corner as Happ will dig it out, and DeYoung into second as he greets Brad Boxberger. And let me clarify, it's left hamstring tightness for Nico Hoerner. Left hamstring tightness.
This is appearance number 15 for the veteran right-hander. He's got a 4.50 ERA, 23 pitches in the ball game yesterday. He allowed a run on 2 hits. His previous outing Thursday was the game over in Washington when he gave up the game-winning home run. And the very first pitch he threw, Alex Call delivered the game winner. Bullpen very busy yesterday in that 14-inning game, as you would expect. What was that note I saw? Boxberger had the walk yesterday, and it was the first walk issued by the Cubs bullpen, and
I think close to 18, 19 innings.
90 some odd batters faced.
19 2/3 was the walkless stretch, I'm told by Cooper Stats. Dylan Carlson 1 out of 2 with an RBI single. Cardinals lead it. We're in the 7th.
Getting to that stage of the game where you start thinking more about one-run strategies, and Carlson, I'm sure he's thinking, if I can just get this ball on the ground to the right side and get DeYoung over to third base, mission accomplished.
Lifts that one left field. Happ long run. And a foul ball.
Carlson's base hit back in the 2nd was a line drive to left.
Man, that ball boy down there, not Fabian. He's gotten clipped by the Swanson fair ball and almost got hit by that one. He's got a bank on.
He's thinking, why don't I take this job?
Is Fabian not here tonight?
I think he's down by the dugout.
Be a little early work tomorrow on how to get out of the way.
Fresh off Fabian's all-star performance last year, you're going to get some days off, I guess.
So Fabian got another job, so he has to cut back his time here at the friendly confines. So we won't be seeing quite as much of him. Still be around, but
wait a second.
Not as
What?
much. Yep. Yeah, I got another job.
Check swing. Carlson is gone on strikes. So we've got breaking news. Fabian will not be down the left field line as much. All right. We got to find that guy's name out, T-Mac.
Make a star out of him.
Make a star out of that guy.
He does have a big glove, though.
Yeah, he
looked
does.
like
That's
a big first
that's
baseman's
like
mitt. Yeah,
Brett Butler butterfly catcher.
that's an outfielder's mitt. Yeah.
Got a good beard.
Boxberger has a good changeup, and that's what he threw to get Carlson. So an unproductive out there for Dylan Carlson. Edman will be just in straight RBI mode here. No sense trying to get that guy to third with 2 outs.
Okay, did you notice anything here, though?
He's hitting right-handed.
Yes. Switch hitter hitting right-handed. So maybe he feels more comfortable hitting a changeup off of him right-handed than he does left-handed.
Maybe he's just trying to take the changeup away. Maybe he figures he won't throw it to him.
Yeah, well, I'd be surprised if he didn't. I mean, you see what he's doing right-handed compared to left-handed, but it's not too often that you see a right-hander go up against a switch hitter go on the same side as the pitcher. We're so locked into Fabian that
I know. Every once in a while you'd see it if a switch hitter faced Rivera, right?
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah.
Carl Everett hit left-handed off Tom Glavine. Never seen that.
Laced to center. Bellinger is there. Edman hit it hard.
Welcome to Cubs U. College students can receive special ticket offers for select Cubs games throughout the season. Text Cubs U to 88019 to unlock student-friendly deals.
The first time that happens, it has to be strange because in your mind, you probably have a plan how to get him out left-handed, right? And then all of a sudden, he walks up there right-handed. You're like, wait a minute, I don't have this plan.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays you see guys where probably a little more starters, but their arsenal is completely different depending on whether it's a righty or a lefty in many instances.
I was watching the game yesterday and Amaya was catching and I was looking at his presentation of the target with that red glove. It's got to be easy to see.
In the air, Suzuki calls off Madrigal and makes the catch. Good job by Boxberger pitching around the leadoff double. It's our 7th inning stretch. It's brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Out to the ball game. DePaul University women's basketball head coach and Chicago native Doug Bruno.
Let's hear you, Cub fans. A 1, a 2, a 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some nuts and crackers. I don't care if we never get back. Let's all root for them. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Let's get some runs.
Highlight for a chance to win a VIP experience at Wrigley Field. Enter the Wintrust Junior Broadcaster Contest at MarqueeSportsNetwork.com or scan the QR code now. So the best play-by-play call that you can muster. So there are antics involved. On one pitch, Madrigal retired. That, by the way, is the first guy other than Nico Horner to hit in the leadoff spot this year.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we hope that the hamstring issue for Nico is nothing too serious and he doesn't miss much time. But I was a little nervous when the hamstring is concerned.
He dealt with it a couple of years ago, right?
Yes.
He's going down the line in Pittsburgh. He hurt himself in 2021.
Well, you think about too the long game yesterday, right? I mean, all the hours that they were on their feet yesterday, and all the action you get in the course of a game, playing 13 days in a row. Sometimes it just catches up to you.
Yeah.
And it's hard to predict. I mean, it's impossible to predict. I used to keep a statistics when I was managing the Yankees that I asked for, that what guys' productions were after like 3 days of playing in a row, 4 days playing in a row, 5 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of had a
binder?
roadmap. Yeah, I had a lot of binders. Binder Joe. A roadmap of when to, like they needed a day off.
Interesting.
And Matsui is the one that sticks out to me the most. It was like 5 days.
5 days in a row.
Give him a day off.
Interesting.
Because, he dealt with all those knee issues, and I think it was difficult for him.
Wow.
And you hit so much with your legs that. So it was a stat that I looked at all the time.
Cubs down a run, 3-2. Hicks on the hill. Swanson waits. RBI double his last time. Payoff pitch.
Cardinals can bring some guys out of the bullpen that throw pretty hard. You think about Cabrera, Hicks, think about Hensley. Jeez. He doesn't have as good 103 tonight, JD.
A little fatigued.
Good take right there, and Swanson is aboard, so the tying run is on base. And Nico continues to take those walks.
Hey folks, the Cubs strongly encourage the use of all public transportation, especially CTA buses and trains when traveling to Wrigley Field. For all games, Cubs offer a free bike check that's located by the Addison Red Line station. For details, visit cubs.com/transportation.
Boog, that would be your walk-up song right there.
That's it right there.
Right there.
Tell me that wouldn't make you happy. That, or I just called to say I love you.
I tell you what, Ian's continued to take his walks as well. I mean, his on base has been fantastic all year. Last 15 games before today, 13 base on balls, 15 hits. Oh.
Yeah, Cubs second in the National League in on base percentage. And Happ's obviously done the bulk of his damage this year from this side against the righties.
Think about what his numbers would be had he had the year he had against right-handers last year. Or against left-handed pitching, excuse me, hitting right-handed. Where he'd be. He'd probably be number one on that list.
The chase upstairs. That's the pitch, I would say. We were talking the other day, JD, early in his career was a problem. I don't feel like it is very frequently now, but this is a little different at 101.
Yeah, a lot of guys are going to chase that high fastball because you see it out of the hand. It looks like a pitch you can get to. By the time it gets on you, you realize it's armpit high and it's by you. This is just a different cat here with this 100+ mile-an-hour heater. You got to get it started early to have a chance.
Joe Dillon, who was one of my hitting coaches in Philly, I believe he's in Washington now, said it's like chocolate mousse, that high fastball. Looks good, but it's not good for you.
On the ground, Hicks handles it, and the Cubs retired in the 7th. On to the 8th, 2-1. saying most consecutive winning seasons in the National League all time. The record is 15, and the Cardinals are right in the middle of it. Cardinal team 39-53. That Braves group, Pirates back from 1899 to 1913, but 15 straight winning seasons, and right now they're 11-24. The band want to get back in.
314 winning percentage. That would be the worst since 1903 for the Cardinals.
A stat that stands out to me is 13 blown leads, most in the NL. And you think about all the firepower that they have in their bullpen, that they've had that many struggles keeping leads. 0-11 in series openers. They've not won a game.
That's crazy.
Right. And Kansas City was the last team to do it, I think, in 1981. They had 13 opening series to start the year. I mean, you talk about trying to win series, right? If you win series all year long, you're going to be in the playoffs. It's hard to do when you lose the first game.
They've won 2 series this year. They won their opening series 2 out of 3 from Toronto, and then they took 2 out of 3 from Colorado. The good news for them is it's still very early in the year, and there's historical precedent for teams that started like this to rally and end up having winning seasons. I go back to the 05 Astros. They were 15-30 at one point.
Yeah.
I remember there's a headline in the Houston Chronicle with a tombstone declaring them dead.
Yeah.
And went to the World Series that year.
Yep. Yeah, it was. I mean, the Marlins in 2003 were 19-29. I believe. The only thing that I would say about it, you get a dangerous hitter right here, is the Pirates are 21-15. The Cardinals are 9 back in the loss column. I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's going to be a while.
That's okay. Yes, you might be right, but the Pirates just lost 7 games in a row.
Yes,
before winning tonight, and the Cardinals, believe it or not, made up ground in that 7 days. Right? They made up ground. They won 1 game in those 7 days. So, I mean, it's very doable. It's very manageable. The Mets took off last year. The Braves caught them. This is very doable for the Cardinals. But the thing is, they have to start getting some quality starts. They only have 7 from their pitchers. They didn't get 1 tonight. And Jordan Montgomery's got 5 of those, right? And he's going to pitch Wednesday. They need better pitching. They need to get Nolan Arenado going. And if they do those things, they'll be tough to contend with. Because no one's run away with this division so far. I mean, the Pirates are 20-15. Everyone else is. Milwaukee's had their struggles. I think they're winning tonight or won tonight, but they've had their struggles. They went on the West Coast. It was really difficult.
Michael Fulmer in. As that one lifted in the air to left field. And Happ makes the grab, quickly fires it in. All right, I got another one for you. You want a really weird one?
Is this another nugget?
It's math related.
Oh.
There's a small segment of the baseball population. I don't know whether you're aware of them, but the Cardinals are 11-24. And in the mainstream media, we would say they're 13 games under 500. But there's a segment of the population that would say they played 35 games. They're really more like 7 under 500.
Well, the expected win for them, what you're talking about, they have that stat, has them 15-20.
Right.
You know, if you look at like their run differential and everything, they have them as a 15-20 team. The other thing is, when you look at velocity off the bat, right, for their hitters, they're like 4th or 5th in all of baseball.
Right, so they've been unlucky.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're not going to continue to give up all these 2-strike hits, I don't think. I don't think you can go on a whole year.
Ooh.
Guess that was too much
in the box. Yeah. it seems to me that early on CB was having a hard time, and then as the game progressed, I thought he kind of locked in a little bit better in the strike zone. But that was a bad miss there.
And it seems like he gives more on the first base side than he does on the third base side. I know that was up and down, right? But he gives a lot more on the first base side. And I used to always wonder, that's the side they usually stand on? How is that possible?
Gorman didn't like it. Kazon had it as a strike.
So it's interesting, the clock didn't start right away there. I mean, this ball catches the corner. Good job by Amaya too. I've been impressed with the way he, frames balls. But they waited till he picked up his bat.
Drilled out into right field. Suzuki collects, throws it into second, and they're at the corners.
Well, this looks like a fastball he's trying to go away, and it just gets too much middle. And I think this kid, who's 22 years old, is really going to be a good hitter as time goes on. This year he's cut down on his strikeouts. He's increased his hard contact. He's got really good power. I think he's going to be a really good hitter. You think about, you're 22 years old and you're hitting third in the St. Louis Cardinals lineup.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
He was their #1 prospect going into last year. Big power.
Hits the ball hard, and I think the shift is really going to, the can shift is really going to help him.
Tommy Hotovy out. CB Buckner is coming out, and the meeting has adjourned.
And that guy's up again. The guy that's accounted for 2 of their runs, scored 1 of them, drove in 1 of them.
Contreras and Amaya greeting one another. Wilson 2 for 3. An RBI double his last time up. It's the difference in the game. Cardinals lead it 2-1.
See how late he stepped in?
Yeah, he was late. Yeah. It feels like he got quick pitch straight.
Well, hey, just get in the box, right? Stop playing. It's like everyone's trying to play games.
Broke his bat. That's to third. And Wisdom, with that hesitation, he looked to go home and then decided to try for 2, and the run scores. It's 3-1.
Yeah, pick the lesser of the options, right? I mean, I think if he goes to second base right away, they probably get Contreras and get their double play and get out of the inning. Doesn't get the best break out of the box, and by the time Patrick kind of goes to plan B, it's too late.
I think the thought process was he didn't think he could turn it because it wasn't hit hard enough, right? But then he saw the jump that Nootbaar got off of third base and realized he couldn't go home, and by that time it was too late.
3-1 Cardinals as Fulmer gives up an insurance run here. Brendan Donovan hitting .270. As Fulmer misses with a changeup. Donovan, well, last year we saw him really control the strike zone in his rookie year. His swing rate has bumped up this season. Lifted to left where Ian Happ waits under it. And out number 3. Cardinals add a run. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 3-1. For Flaherty, .629 his earned run average. And for JMO, obviously that stretch with the groin issue. Flaherty just last couple of years hasn't been healthy. He's had some shoulder problems. They need him back to that
Well, the walks have really hurt him. I mean, he had 22 walks in 34 and the third innings. I mean, but obviously there's stuff there if you have 36 strikeouts.
No doubt.
Command, command, command.
Suzuki here tonight, 1 for 3 with an infield single. Cubs last 5 games, they've been scoring late. Cardinals lead 3-1.
I mean, JD, when I look at this kid, Jordan Hicks, it'd be hard pressed to find someone that has better closer stuff than him. I'm not saying control, but I'm saying pure stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you were, you know, if you took all these guys and you had a tryout camp, he might be the first draft pick.
Yeah.
Kid that throws 103 miles an hour and can spin the ball the way he does.
Broke his bat, line caught. And DeYoung makes the play, 1 down.
This is a slider here that just gets off the end of his bat, just gets off the barrel and gets him out front a little bit and just snaps that bat right in half. Ooh. I tell you what, it's such a weird feeling as a hitter when that happens. It's almost like you don't know what happened. Best fastball of the night from him, 102.
Who's the hardest thrower you caught?
That's a great question. Wow. Hardest thrower I caught. I got to think of all my days. A lot of foul tips that I probably forgot a few of the guys.
To the right side. And Edman makes a pretty nice play to get Mancini.
Mariano Rivera threw hard. Mitch Williams threw hard. Trying to think when I came back here. I mean, I managed guys that threw a lot harder than I caught, I think. I had Chapman, Betances, and Andrew.
Yeah.
Outstanding job by Jordan Hicks tonight.
Indeed. Marmol makes the point to the pen. Pitching change brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time. A lot of hard hit baseballs for Contreras as Ryan Helsley will take over. And this hard throwing right-hander.
Yeah, you talk about going from the fire to the frying pan, right? You got one guy with 103 and another guy that can reach 100 miles per hour. He averages 99 with his heater, 13 innings of work and a 3.46 ERA. He's converted 3 saves. He's failed on 3 occasions.
And a really sharp slider. There was one right there that it's basically goes straight down. 90-mile-an-hour slider. He's got a good curveball as well. He doesn't throw that nearly as much as his slider. There's the curveball. I'll be curious because I watched him with runners on. I don't think he stops, right? I mean, that's been a point of emphasis for umpires. He goes up high and he kind of rolls through it. He doesn't really ever stop. There he did, but curious to see what they call.
Hopped up, and Nootbaar calls off Edman. Mervis retired, and we're headed to the 9th. Cardinals lead it.
4 slurves, a slider, and a 4-seamer, adding up to 6 strikeouts for Stroh tonight. There it is in living color. And you know what? It's a quality start. And this quality start is brought to you by National Car Rental. Control of confidence. Just the one walk, and that walk did come around to score on him, but another outstanding effort from Marcus Stroman here tonight. 4 hits, a couple runs, 7th quality start in 8 tries. That's most in MLB. Here's Julian Merriweather for the 13th time. 12 2/3, 639. Another guy that can light up the radar gun.
He goes by Jerry.
He does.
He does.
Jerry.
So when he first started in pro ball, somebody said you need a nickname. We're going with Jerry.
So I did get confirmation. It seems pretty self-explanatory. You look at his last name, Merriweather, first name Julian, Jerry.
Yep.
I don't think that's self-explanatory at all.
I agree.
When I asked him, he goes, "You really don't know?" I'm like, well, I could guess. Can you confirm? He said, probably what you're thinking.
Call him the weatherman. Call him the meteorologist.
Yeah, I like that better. The weatherman.
Bring in the weatherman. The storm.
The quiet storm. JD just going right after T-Mac. I don't think that's self-explanatory at all. Not at all.
Well,
T-Dog.
when we were in Washington, we were all wondering why he got the nickname Jerry. So clearly it wasn't very self-explanatory to any of us.
Yes.
But the people on Twitter seemed to disagree, and so did Jerry himself. So, you know, I'll accept fault on that.
They had Jeremiah Estrada in the dugout. Taylor talked about it. And, okay, so he's already Jerry. So Jeremiah Estrada can't be Jerry. And so they decided while he was up here that he'd be Tom.
Tom and Jerry.
Right. And I was so I know none of this. I'm walking out onto the field, and the only person in front of me is Jeremiah Estrada. And somebody yells, "Hey, Tom," and he turns around, and I could not have been more confused.
He's done a couple good changes.
Yeah. I mean,
good breaking ball.
That changeup's a good pitch, and he's got a good feel for it here tonight. I mean, this is a guy I'm intrigued.
Yes.
By Merriweather. You know, he's 31. He's been around a little bit. Hasn't had a lot of big league success, but you know that fastball plays. That changeup is really good.
Got him off waivers from Toronto. The stuff is there. And again, now it was one of the things when I spoke to him today. It's just stringing together quality outings, right?
Confidence is so important. And the only way you can do that is by doing what you're saying, quality outings.
Good pitch. Carlson rung up. And Jerry has punched out the first two.
A little bit of a delay again this time from C.B. Buckner, but this ball catches the bottom of the zone. That's a pitcher's pitch right there with 2 strikes. Right at the bottom of the knees.
Well, here's Tommy Edman, and I can't help but wonder, are we in the process of watching Tommy Edman stop switch hitting?
You wonder if something bothers him when he hits from his left side, right? I mean, is the other thing that you could think of, but you might be right.
Well, right now, my guess would be his average is bothering him the left side.
It's hurting his feelings.
Yeah,
that's what's hurting his feelings. I mean, he did smoke a ball to center field right-handed.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
I will defer. And he's
Tucker Barnhart did that too, right? He was a guy like I'd go into town and I'd say, okay, is he a switch hitter or not? Well, this year he seems. Okay, it says switch, right? I mean,
so in 21 he stopped switch hitting with the Reds. He hits free agency, signed with the Tigers, went back to it, and then this year went back to being exclusively left-handed. But yeah,
it's such a hard craft to work on.
Yeah, it's two hitters,
right? And a lot of times switch hitters are natural right-handed hitters that learn how to hit left-handed. You see them stronger from their right side.
Two and two. Yeah, foul ball.
Kind of an awkward swing there. It's a different look for him for sure, right? Facing a right-handed pitcher in the right-handed batter's box. It looks a little uncomfortable right now. You know, career-wise, it's not that bad.
No. Popped up, foul ground. Amaya.
It just seems like he's not standing tall on that breaking ball. Like there's a collapse when he takes a swing at it because he's not used to seeing it that way.
Yeah, Tommy Edman in his career, the average is 294 to 259. There it is.
The slug is the big difference.
Yep.
The power that comes from the right side.
Swanson in and to his left. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Cubs. They trail it by 2. And Eric Hosmer is going to hit in Patrick Wisdom's spot.
Hosmer's seen some fastballs in the last couple of days, hasn't he? Alcantara yesterday.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Dial it up a notch here. 100 and then 101.
Yeah, Alcantara was only throwing 99 yesterday.
Use your timeout, regroup.
Gotta get it started early. Helsley fires.
Okay. Contact. I mean, you like the good aggressive pass he's taking. He's swinging at strikes. He's just a little bit behind him. We'll see if Helsley opts for the slider here. Or if he just continues to pump in that heat.
There's nothing that tells me that I should throw him a breaking ball, right? As late as he's been.
Chopped up the middle. And DeYoung handles the chance. And here comes Miguel Amaya. The Cardinals lead at 3-1. They've out-hit the Cubs 6-5. Wilson Contreras is return in Cardinal red. And he's come up with a couple of hits, including an RBI double in the 6th. That broke a 1-1 tie.
Man.
Wow.
That was loud.
That's a dart, man.
I mean, I know the microphone's down there, but it sounded like
It's also
I
the way
caught
it
it.
looks. He gets on top of it.
Yeah. Then he does that, right? Let me get me over slider at 88, JD. Get back on the count, but I'm going to put it on the edge. It almost looked like he got crossed up there.
Yeah, no, funny reaction.
See you go to catch this. I mean, it kind of backed up a little bit. I don't know how you get crossed up when you're using the signs that they're using now. Or the digits.
Right. That's ball.
That's your guess? You got it figured out?
Slider. JD, would you want to do the voice for PitchCom?
I'd be down for that. I wouldn't say slurve though.
But you said it earlier today.
I know.
Why'd you do that, JD?
You know, that's what
The producer forced you?
what the graphic said. Slurve.
And you just said it.
You could say the S word.
I've got a beef with the guys, the StatCast guys.
Okay.
I'm not in on slurve. And like when Tucker Barnhart pushes a button, there's no button that says slurve for Marcus Stroman.
Yeah, I'm not. Same with the. I'm kind of the same way with the sweeper. I think it's a slider that sweeps. It's
a sweepy slider.
Yeah, or a slurvy breaking ball, but it's either a slider or a curveball. We don't need new names. Said the grumpy old guy. Don't even get me started on the knuckle curve.
Wow. Why don't you like that?
Because it's not a knuckle curve what the guys are throwing now. It's a spike curveball.
It's a spike curveball. Yeah, okay. I get that.
Tonight's version of Get Off My Lawn brought to you by Jim Deshaies.
What in the name of Bert Hooton are they calling a knuckle curve these days?
Here's the 2-2. Popped up. And caught by Gorman. 2 outs. Anything else you want to get off your chest, JD?
No, I just need a blooper and a blast here and tie this ball game. That's all.
I am in. So here's Nick Madrigal. If you're just joining us, Nico Hoerner leaving the game with left hamstring tightness. And Madrigal ran for him in the 5th, grounded out in the 7th. Here it is. It's been about as indispensable as it gets atop the order. He's played brilliant defense. Time for 3rd in the majors and hits into today.
I'm curious to see. Obviously, he'll end up in an MRI tube, and they'll get a exact reading of what he got. You got to treat the symptoms, not necessarily what the MRI says, but they'll treat them both. But like, if he is out, who replaces him in that leadoff spot?
Pretty good chance Nick Madrigal will get some playing time there at second base, and maybe leadoff man, maybe Christopher Morel.
Yeah,
just called up today.
That's where he's been hit. Cardinals with a win tonight would match their longest win streak of the season, 2. Madrigal waits. 101.
He's trying to get that bloop.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's trying to get that bloop for you. I mean, you think about the struggles the Cardinals have had. They went 2-8 on a West Coast trip between San Francisco, Seattle, and LA. Got swept by the Angels, lost 2 out of 3 from Detroit. Happened to win yesterday to break an 8-game losing streak.
That's a pretty good take right there. You know, all those fastballs, and it comes to that swing and miss slider. We've talked about Madrigal and Hoerner, the 2 guys that can really compete against stuff, right? The high octane fastballs. Madrigal's been able to foul some off here, stay alive, just able to check up in time.
Check swing and another in the dirt, and again Madrigal hanging in there as they check in with Ryan Wills. Said he didn't go. Now 3-2.
Looked like he looked at his finger there too. I mean, you wonder if, like, he had some finger problems last year with some. I think he had a cut on his index finger in the playoffs. I think they'll see.
He was dealing with, I think, some numbness, right? And he came out of that. I think it was game 1.
It was against the Phillies when they blew the lead.
3-2, here we go. And Helsley grabs it, underhands to first, and the Cardinals have taken game 1 of this 3-game set. Time for the toast of the game. It's brought to you by Binny's Beverage Depot. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Yeah, well, Wilson Contreras back at Wrigley Field for the first time and had himself a night here tonight. Got a little video tribute on the Jumbotron, got a nice ovation from the fans, and had a real nice night at the plate. 2 out of 4, 2 RBIs, and a run scored. If you can't find it at Binny's, it's probably not worth drinking.
Wilson Contreras playing the villain as he knocks in the go-ahead run. It is returning Cardinal red. So St. Louis takes game 1. We'll have game 2 for you tomorrow. For Jim DeShays, Joe Girardi, Taylor McGregor, and our entire outstanding crew, I'm John Chambi. Thanks for watching Chicago Cubs baseball on Marquee Sports Network. Again, your final, the Cardinals 3 and the Cubs 1.